Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's HBO's original mini-series of The Girl Before, episode 2. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. Emma binge drinks and dances away while having flashbacks of her traumatic experience. She can't hold back tears of pain and collapses in exhaustion. Jane explains what Edward told her about having an unconventional relationship. It's odd after learning how the previous tenant died by allegedly falling down the stairs, and they still didn't install a handrail. Psychoanalysis question. In a well-run society, there has to be consequences for breaking the rules. Agree or disagree? Emma continues sessions with her psychologist. She apologizes for not disclosing the sexual assault. She used to enjoy sex, but now she feels ashamed. The psychologist wants to remind her that her attack was not her fault. It's a slow process to understand and talking about feelings. She even gives Emma her personal number in case she needs to talk in between sessions. She shouldn't feel alone. Jane observes her body, but starts to have nightmares of Emma falling down the stairs. She also passes her first inspection. The realtor wants to know if the demands of the home are too demanding or difficult to follow. Jane says that everything is fine, but what happened with the last person who lived here? The realtor says, unfortunately, I don't have any additional information. The previous information was held by the previous agent. They took over when the last contract ended. The housekeeper notices an extra box outside of the permitted storage areas. It was Jane's personal box she hid under the bed. The realtor doesn't create any concern and lets her know that the inspection is complete. Saul is nosy to find out who changed his slogan, but Emma informs him it wasn't me, it was Leona. He laughs that she can't do any worse than Cy, and unfortunately, he's taken. He only asks that whatever happens to please let Cy down easy. Emma calls Edward to find out if it's okay if only one tenant wanted to stay and the other moved out. She decided to stay. Edward says it's fine and invites her to go look at another building. Jane also gets the same invitation. One could call it a date. None of the tall buildings are his work, and if they were, he describes he would go to the top of one of those buildings and jump off. The plates he wants to show Jane and Emma are right in front of them. Emma doesn't like churches. She finds it boring, all ceremony and nothing to do with religion. Jane thinks the church design is simplistic and matches his ideas of making a statement. It shows restraints. He only wants an architect's legacy. He doesn't live on site and goes from hotel to hotel. Emma does like one thing about the church, the acoustics. She even begins to sing Amazing Grace. Jane is deep in thought about how many people have stood in this exact same spot making commitments. There's a flashback of a bride alongside Edward. Emma apologizes for the tenant hiccup and if any potential of it messing up the data. He doesn't mind the change and admits that the first time he saw her, he wanted a relationship. He gives her the same speech concerning an unconventional relationship. There's a back and forth monologue of what's important in a relationship and the entire concept of marriage. In Jane's eyes, it's meant to last forever. She apologizes for the insensitive statement, forgetting he has lost his wife and child. Jane wants to know, how did it happen? He admits it was to an accident on a building site. He wants to know if Jane ever lets her hair down from the professional look and invites her to the idea of what they both can do when they let their guards down. Edward invites for a new cookout dinner at 1 Folgate Street, and Emma loves the idea. Jane wants to know, what did he know about Emma? Edward gets uncomfortable and thanks her for the evening, quickly walking away. It's flowers for Emma, all red roses, although she's disappointed to read that they're from Simon. When a friend gives credit for the flowers to Simon, Emma seems to be excited to report that they're from someone else, someone that she had dinner with. Someone with more enthusiasm. She doesn't want to go online and do the deed variation tendency. Instead, she asks Andrew if he can take care of the matter for her since he's this big-time lawyer. He agrees to give it some review. All he needs are both signatures of both tenants, then that information can be given to the landlord. Emma then gets a call from the main detective on her case, and they have more information to discuss. It's best if she comes directly to the station. 9 a.m. tomorrow is a good time for Emma. Emma goes to the restroom to brush her teeth. Thinking of the traumatic experience makes her brush her teeth over and over again and very hard, so much so that it makes her gums bleed. Jay comes to work and a wrapped package awaits. Before she can get excited, a visitor with a baby girl makes Jane quickly change the subject and say that she's too busy to chat. She's extremely busy and in a hurry. Both women receive the same gesture with the same message. I thought this would suit you. See you tonight, E. Jane calls confused. She thought that he didn't like romantic gestures, but he wants an exchange. She accepts the gift, and he cooks dinner tonight at 1 Folgate Street. Emma cleans up and contemplates what to do with Simon's gifts. He arrives and scares her. He brought wine, and Emma just wants him to sign the documents and leave. He shouldn't have just popped up, and it's obvious he's been drinking. Emma gets a call, and it's Edward. He can tell that she's upset. When he learns Simon is there, he wants to speak with him directly. He tells Simon to sign the paperwork and leave. He's meeting Emma for dinner, and him being there would make the situation awkward. Simon can't believe that of all of the people, Edward? He hurries to sign the documents and slams down the access bracelet. Both women get dressed, and they hear beeps alerting to a visitor. It's Edward. Both women have difficulty unwinding and settling into sensual touches, but slowly welcome more and more. After making love, June is embarrassed. She has stretch marks. He tells her they're a part of who she is. She's beautiful, and she should wear the scars with honor. He shares a story about how he stopped dating someone because they got a tattoo. He doesn't stay with someone whose standards doesn't amount to him or that they've agreed upon. Emma wants to have a bed feast, biscuits and wine, but he suggests making some real food. When he gets downstairs, he stares with anger at the teapot from Simon. There's a crashing noise of it breaking. When Emma gets downstairs, he apologizes and says, "I'm sorry. I imagine this item had sentimental value, didn't it? I'll get you a better one." Jane is in a deep sleep as Edward watches over her with vengeance. Jane awakens to Edward gone with a text reading from Maya, "Sure you don't want me to come with you today?" She tries to take a quick shower, but the access won't turn on anything. The housekeeper program will not reactivate the entire house facilities until she completes 50 psycho-evaluation questionnaires. Some of them read, "A carefully considered gesture of affection is more romantic than a spontaneous one. Agree or disagree? I expect my partner to live up to my standards. Agree or disagree?" Emma visits the police station and they have good news. They can charge Ryan Nelson with all charges. They've been trying to put him away for a very long time, and her testifying will help the case. Highly likely he'll plead guilty at the hearing. Emma is afraid of testifying, but the detective urges her to fill out a victim statement. It will give the jury your experience and how it's all affected your life. You write down everything they need to know and they read it aloud in court. It's your voice in the process. Jane speaks with the specialist that her stillbirth can't be explained. Why? Even if she had occasional abdominal pain, it's normal at 39 weeks. They invite her to speak with a bereavement counselor, but Jane declines. Jane goes home to grieve and looks at memories of her daughter. She says, "I'm sorry," over and over again, and kisses a lock of her baby girl's hair. Emma reads a pamphlet about making a statement when it comes to being a victim. Andrew wants to know if everything with the tenant document went through well, and Emma says yes, but Andrew continues. "You know, 2 people are buried on that property, right? I mean, it's perfectly legal, but with that information and all the tenant rules, No wall hangings, no pictures, etc. It's gotta be pretty creepy, right? Emma says, no, I love it. I think it's amazing there. I love living there. Emma tries to write a statement when she gets home, but it only brings her to tears. Her crying is interrupted as she observes a fox quietly smelling around. Jane lets Edward know that she doesn't appreciate the access being reset and feeling like she's a science project experiment after intimacy. The house should just be for residing. He reminds her that the questionnaire was a part of the agreement when moving in. Emma wants Edward to explain, was the beginning of your marriage great? I mean, what was it like? But he deflects the question by asking her, why doesn't she like to kiss? She tells him about the assault and he apologizes. He wonders if everything is moving too fast, but she insists that he makes her feel safe. When she's with him, she's not the person that it happened to. She's her, a new her. Maybe she can be more like Elizabeth, the woman who was buried here. He doesn't deny anything, and it's an old Japanese custom. It always brings good luck, and his wife wanted to be buried near one of their properties. Emma thinks it's beautiful and romantic. Each day in the home is like a clean slate. Architecture students observe the home as Emma reads a court hearing information document. While Jane sits down to catch up on some work, she gets up to pour herself a cup of coffee. The home does an administration override to her computer without her knowledge, then going back to her original screen when she sits down. Jane stops Pete from looking through her things. He says that everything in the house can be reviewed. Nothing deserves privacy. He taunts how Edward clearly has been sleeping there and she's better dressed than the last girl. Let's see how long you last. She tells Edward about everything that happens, but he calms her down in saying that he's just harmless and I'll speak to him. Emma tries to take a shower, but there's a house override again. She's so frustrated with the questionnaire, she answers agree to everything. Now she's running late for her hearing. Her prosecution barista has updated information. Ray Nelson has pleaded not guilty to all charges. He has challenged the evidence. The defense wants to have the judge speak directly with Emma. Emma was under the impression that she would just write a statement and someone else would read it. Unfortunately, more bad news. Nelson has been granted bail. Emma can't contain herself and needs to go outside. The lawyer says, well, I think you're about to lose your star witness. While getting fresh air, she sees her attacker. Emma confirms with the detective, if I speak to the judge, he'll go to prison, right? They confirm that it's their best chance to get him put away. Jane is awakened by a loud noise. It's a door that has popped open. It's a data room. When she goes deeper inside, there's a rest area with snacks and personal items. When she looks at the wall, she sees the words, "Help me," have been carved into the wall. Jane tells her friend about everything that she's found, and her friend is creeped out. Look, Jane, Emma looks a lot like you. And also, his ex-wife, Elizabeth, also looks very familiar to you. Jane takes a visit to Emma's psychologist to learn more about her, although she can't share anything due to the client privilege. She even thinks that Emma and Jane are sisters based upon their looks. Jane is just curious because she found Emma's things in a service cupboard. It was as if she was living or hiding there. She found Carol's card and wanted to just speak with her. She died in the home. There's mysteries she thought about and even asked Edward, but Carol cuts her off. Edward, what's your relationship with him, if you don't mind me asking? Jane says that, well, we've been seeing each other for months. She has client confidentiality, but that bond has been broken or can be broken if she believes someone is in the risk of harm. You're in a house where she used to live and you're having a relationship with the same man. You're in danger. Not only is Jane shocked by everything that she's heard and that Emma had a relationship with him, but she's afraid of what to do next. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. So far, so good. What do you guys think of the miniseries so far and it being a mystery? I have an idea of what's going on. I don't want to say who I think it is so far because I'm still trying to match the pieces together about what's going on. It's quite evident that in any mystery series that it's always the person that you least expect. And it's painting a picture as if it's Edward. But you also have to consider that with everything going on, he has a staff and a team of people that is helping with collecting this so-called data. He is trying to clearly be this controlling person and developing a copy and paste of his deceased wife. And then that evolving into possibly having another child. Because if you pay attention to all of the psychoanalysis questions, it's all gearing towards what's your reaction to having sentiments and having standards, and do you feel like they should be followed? If they're not followed, do you believe in those consequences? It's kind of like, getting and egging towards, okay, we're establishing something, you're agreeing to it, and you're going to follow through. Well, after intimacy, there's questions. After the unconventional gift, there was questions. So it kind of all goes in line with him checking off the boxes. And is this person so-called perfect for me? And it's really weird. That staff that's helping him collect all of the data and do those things, we also got to keep an eye on them. We have to keep an eye on an ex-boyfriend, because exes or people that have vendettas or difference of opinions are also suspects when it comes to mystery series. I'm a big Matlock fan, Law and Order, all of those shows dealing with mystery, Hunter, all that stuff from back in the day. It goes back to the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of a case and suspects, clues, all that good stuff. Also, if you're a Trekkie like myself, and of course I am a Star Trek Next Generation, I love Star Trek, period. But the Next Generation, to me, it just has my heart with Captain Jean-Luc Picard. So if you watch the Star Trek episodes, there's always something about humans and things wanting complete control. You can plan, you can try to make things as perfect as possible, maybe droids, all of these things, but life is very uncertain, and that's what makes us human. That we can plan and we can plan and we can plan, but everything around us doesn't go in order. Everything around us isn't perfect. So this home trying to be perfect and trying to establish a sense of being perfection always has error. There's always an error with everything. So I'm wondering, is there going to be a hiccup and an error within the house that says, okay, there's a malfunction to maybe the team doing something and letting her know that it's something deeper, because we still have the mystery about what really happened to her. Was it a fall for real? Was it, we don't know. So I'm loving all of the pieces together. That's what I'm conjuring so far in my head about all of the evidence so far. This review isn't going to be long, and I don't want to bore you guys, but really think about, and if you have questions or you have tidbits, make sure to put that in the comments below. And if you have finished the miniseries, if you read the books, if you know the ending, please put spoiler alerts before statements. So those who have not finished the series, those who are maybe not as far as you in the series on HBO, they can make a decision. Okay, there's a spoiler alert. I won't read that comment. I'll come back maybe when I finish it, because we don't want to spoil it for anybody else. We want to continue this ride together and have fun together, you guys, and figuring out a mystery. And make sure you check out the Delilah series, also, that I'll have in the pinned comment as well. That is a mystery series about a law firm and a lawyer, Delilah. So check that out as well. In the meantime, in between time, remember to take care of yourself and each other. Bye. Stay tuned for episode 3.